Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Today's top story, the flavor merger of the century between the Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey Corp. Joining me is a PBC executive.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
Now, how did you know the merger and the byproduct of it, Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread, would be a success?
You know, it was a gut feeling, a rumbling, if you will. Besides, they're two titans of taste.
Very true. Goes great with pretzels.
And pancakes.
Apples too, I bet. Try Jif PBC today.
Everyone who works at Starbucks, full or part-time, gets stock in our company. Which means that when Starbucks succeeds, our people do too. At Starbucks, benefits like company stock are just the start.
This MailChimp-verific jingle is brought to you by MailChimp.
MailChimp your marketing with AI and more. Advanced automations to connect to your store. MailChimp your marketing and boost your clicks. Multi-channel campaigns now with SMS. That's lit.
MailChimp your marketing today with the #1 AI-powered email marketing and automation platform, Intuit MailChimp. #1 based on publicly available data on competitors' customers. Plans vary. SMS available as add-on. Visit MailChimp.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Reality Is. As always, it's Noor, and I'm super excited today because I have a guest to talk to me about a show that I feel like not enough people are talking about. It's Next Gen NYC with the Laguna Biatch. Kelli, hi.
Hi, thank you for having me. I am so excited to talk about a show nobody is excited about. I'm excited about it, though.
I'm like, it really, don't you feel like it is scratching that Hills itch for you?
Yes, exactly. The only thing it's missing is like more longing glances with music in the background. That's the only thing missing.
It's missing music, like real music.
Yeah.
And
far too much dialogue.
No, so much dialogue. And also like the music is just like, you know, whatever stock music or whatever that is. It's like, I'm hot. Sure. Yeah.
It all sounds like Brooks kind of singing.
It's just Chloe. It's what they really need to do is soundtrack the show with Meredith Marks's creations.
Oh my, they have to.
Now, okay, we're gonna talk about. I kind of want to talk about the dark stuff first. So we are also going to talk about the Valley.
Okay,
I want to get it out of the way. I want to rid ourselves of the demons that is the Valley. Okay, I want to just start off. Let's get it. Let's push it all out. Okay. This episode of the Valley, Kristen, it's post Kristen's engagement, and for some reason, Brittany, Michelle, and Janet make it about themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So, as someone who was recently engaged, you know,
congratulations.
Thank you. I think as long as you tell people before it hits social media, then it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know, like they told Brittany before it was on social media, before all that. So to me, I'm like, that's good enough.
Yeah. What more were they looking for? And then I want to point out that Brittany was schmammered that night.
So drunk.
So drunk. And then her being like, oh, I thought you don't know. I thought not. Like whatever she does when she's like drunk. And her jaw.
Well, I just don't understand.
Yeah. It's like heavy on the jaw. It's heavy on the jaw stuff. Like, It's like her mouth just like unhinges and it just like wobbles back and forth, just like
A
words just
ventriloquist
coming out.
dummy mouth.
Yeah, exactly. I like that you uninvited Janet. Well, nobody uninvited Janet. What are you talking about? Like, and it's crazy because later that night when they go to like the attached room or whatever to go and hang out, and they're like, well, we told Janet to come and hang out with us, but she didn't want to, right? It's the exact same thing that happened with Zach and Janet. Zach was like, hey, listen, I just want to tell you Kristen got engaged, and Janet was like, yeah, I don't want to be there, which is fine. I think that that's okay. But then for Janet to be like, it's just so awkward. I think that, okay. God, I hate having to defend her to some degree. Okay. I have to say this because apparently Janet also is like, so I know people who know Janet in real life.
Same.
Right. And that they all are saying like Janet's actually a really nice person, and how it's playing out in the show is crazy. Also, so there's a report, a news report in the papers. It said that Janet had to flee the country, and it was like, no, she just went on a vacation with her husband and kid, and that she was getting death threats. Now, I want to say that the people that I know who know Janet have said that like people are calling her terrible words over DMs, and we know these death threats are real because guys, like Love Island, we've met people on Love Island for 4 weeks and people are losing their ever-loving mind over them. So the fact that Janet is like coming after people's queen, Kristen Doty, like I believe 100% that she's getting crazy messages. So I want to preface all that by saying like what people are doing to Janet online is fucked up. I also think Janet is postpartum at this point. And I think that how women function when their baby is under one, it's not, I'm not saying it's acceptable, but I am saying it's scientifically kooky crazy. And I feel like maybe that's why Janet is like sort of behaving the way that she is right now. Like I think that just to give her the ittiest bit of grace, because it has to be that. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
I agree. And I think for me, like Janet to me is like almost like Whitney from Mormon Wives. Like she reminds you of like a high school bully that you knew, like that bullied the shit out of you through high school, made your life hell. So I get why she could be like a triggering villain, but you're never going to make me hate Janet more than Jesse and Jax. That will never be me. And it's really, really difficult to like, whenever I'm watching a Bravo show and like look at social media, I'm like, I'm not watching the same show as these people.
No. Especially if a man is on. If a man is on, they're like, yeah, men are bad, but can you believe it with that woman? And you're like,
I'm like, what? Yeah. So I think Janet's like the third worst person. And like her worst is just like being a like bitchy woman. She's, I don't know. And like, obviously saying like, telling people's Al-Anon business is not cool as someone who has been to Al-Anon. Like, that's not okay to expose all that. And I'm not trying to say any of that's okay, but it's really hard for me to be like, she's the worst person on this show when there's fucking Jessie Lally and Jax Taylor right there.
And I think that's also another part of it. I think Michelle, people are like, why is Michelle so close to Janet? All this stuff. I'm like, Michelle, Sheena, all these people are really like confused by the way that the show is moving and how Kristen is moving, because we even got like a glimpse of it this episode where they were like, Jesse being like so buddy with Kristen does not make any sense to me. And it doesn't, because it like it's like a pyramid of bad. Like Jesse is not as bad as Jax to some people. I think he's just as bad as Jax. So like Jesse keeps Jax around because then it makes him look not as bad. And then like I don't know. I think I like Zach. I like Kristen so far on the show. Danny is very problematic, and like Danny keeps Jesse around. And like all of this is like, it's like a Russian dollar pyramid of like shitty behavior. And like these people are just keeping a worse person around them to like justify how shitty they are. And I think with Janet, I think something that is maybe not being said is the fact that like with Danny, her like vendetta against Danny and Nia, I think that there is a political element to it, because Danny and Nia, come on guys, come on.
Okay. No, you're totally right. And like when they kept saying Janet was a fan, I was like, so was Logan, who's like Ariana's best friend. Like,
Yeah.
so was Brittany.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure so was Zach.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let people be fans and join the show. And then also this Jenna girl who's like now a side character. I'm like, she's probably also a fan. Like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Jesse Lally on like the very first episode of The Valley like talked about Scandival. I was like, okay, yeah, you're all guys. Like, it's not a weird thing to be like that's also why I love like Next Gen NYC, because they just like talk about shows.
Yeah.
They talk about Housewives. They mention the Jersey Shore. Oh, we'll get to that. I don't.
And
agree.
they break the fourth wall like pretty consistently in NYC in the Next Gen. I'm like, I don't know what to call it. I always call it a different name. I'm sorry.
The little kids, the Nepo Baby show. Yeah, I like it's just, it got so weird. They had this party. Everybody was annoyed that like Danny and Nia showed up late, and I was just like, Brittany is obviously just drunk and mad. And then she's like, I don't understand why nobody told me that she was getting engaged, and only for the next day for us to find out exactly why you weren't told, because you went and told Jax, and then Jax went and told everybody. And because I don't know, he's just itching. He's probably like not doing coke for a week, so he like needs to do something. So he's like, let me get on social media and tell them. You're like, relax, right? So it's like, Brittany, that's why nobody tells you anything, because you can't keep your fucking mouth shut. And so we had that whole like Brittany and Kristen sit and have a little chat. Kristen has since like gone on social media and been like, guys, like I love Brittany no matter what. And I think people need to remember that like people go so hard against like, on these teams, and then they make up like a month later and it's fine, And
can I also say, I think Kristen not just loves Brittany, she's like in love with Brittany.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I don't know. I feel like Kristen loves being in that weird Jax Brittany triangle. I don't think she's like in love with Jax, but there's like something with her and Brittany specifically.
We did get a flashback to that time that Jax saw them getting intimate, which is fine. Go off, queens.
Right.
But that's a good point.
And like just how involved she has been in their relationship. I'm always just like, I was kind of like that with friends I maybe had crushes on and didn't realize I had crushes on till like years later. Ooh. But still.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, Kristen, if you're listening, unpack that. Because like her guys that she goes out with are like always like the opposite. Well, not always, but like Luke is like a masculine man,
Right.
And sometimes I feel like that's a little overcompensating too, because I'm like, you're bisexual.
Yeah, and I also feel like if Brittany was like, Kristen, I need you, she'd be like, bye, Luke.
Yeah, 100%. Totally. They go on this fucking cruise where, listen, a queer woman to a lesbian woman, I don't want to see that. Okay, Luke in that outfit. We used the word sexual assault on this episode, and I was assaulted to my eyes. Okay.
I was looking and I was like, which parts are which? Like, it's been so long since I've seen a dick. I was just like, how is that all shoved in there? It's been like...
I always think about that. And it's not been a very long time since I've seen them. I see them all the time. I always joke. I'm like, I'm elbow deep and I got 2 sons and a husband. Okay. I couldn't get away from it if I tried. Okay. It's always around. But yeah, whenever I see a man wearing something, it's like gay men have like the tuck down. They like totally know how to like wear a Speedo and all. But when straight men jam their stuff into a place, and I'm just like, you don't know what you're doing with those. You have no idea what you're doing. It's like watching them try to put on a bra. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was also like, it's been so long since I've seen man thighs. I was like, ah!
No. And like not even tan man thighs. It was just bad. I was just like, what is this? And again, like never on Janet's side, but like in that situation, I would be like, why am I here?
And like, I wouldn't be making snide side comments. I'd be saying them directly to him.
Yeah, I would say it directly to his crotch. Yeah. Because that's the only thing I would look at.
I know.
It's like when I was like a teenager, like I got boobs pretty early on. You understand? You got boobs too. And don't you remember like talking to boys, like not even boys that you were interested in, but just like talking to a man and at a very young age being like, that man is not looking at my face at all. Their eyes would just always go straight to your boobs. That would be me to Luke's crotch.
Yeah.
I would just be like, listen, head down.
I got boobs in like 8th grade, and there was a rumor that went around that I wasn't wearing a bra, but I was like, no, I'm just like 13.
Poor thing.
I know, but this isn't about my trauma. This is about.
Wait, while we're talking about boobs, I'll just bring it up. I got boobs at like 11, 12. Also, it's just like a fat kid. So like what was boobs, what was fat, who knows? But like I didn't want to wear a training bra. Or like it's just like either didn't want to, or my mom like never took me to figure it out or whatever. I was young. I was probably in 6th grade. There was an event at my mosque and I wore a white turtleneck and a skirt, and I had to go and speak up at the mosque. And I had this like I remember this like swishy pink jacket on. It was wintertime. And I unzipped my jacket and I took it off, and I will never forget the look on all the women's faces. They were like, you have to put the jacket back on.
That's what one of the men should have said to him on the boat. You have to put your shorts back on.
You gotta put pants on. You gotta, we cannot be around that. Okay. Anyway, there's like a Zach Janet chat that happens, and there's so many like side characters. It's also convoluted and weird, and it doesn't make any sense. But Zach goes and sits and talks to Janet about Jenna, I guess. And then Kristen shows up just to be there. And then Janet drops, Kristen says like, look, I was being bitchy about the Jason thing with the ring because I just wanted to. I just wanted to be like, you can't talk about somebody else's marriage when your husband has rumors about him too.
Listen, if she's going to frame an innocent black woman because Stassi was mad at her, she has no issue framing Jason not wearing his ring.
Honey.
Like, this is like child's play to Kristen.
Yeah, I love that scene because she always like, it always flashes back to her saying it and then her fighting with her straw. She'll like say it, and then like
yeah, I think what's tough is like Kristen to me is like such a fun reality star, but she's also a treacherous human being.
Awful.
And I think that's my issue with the Valley is number one, too many characters, too many storylines, and then it's like all of them are so dark in their own way.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for Zach. I like Zach.
I do like Zach. And honestly, Jasmine and her girlfriend, Melissa, who I've called Michelle for weeks. But she says, and then she's like, you know, I brought that up. And then Janet says, well, I think that if Danny sexually assaulted someone, we're like, what? And then we also got like this flashback to this other time that Danny said something about like liking young blondes or something.
Yeah.
And then Jason is like, I never said it. Apparently that I've not caught up in the Valley after show because as you know, it's like an hour long. I've got to watch Love Island. Sorry. We'll catch up on the Valley after show next week. But there was this thing about like, you know, Janet just is trying to make this case for, I think what happens with Janet is this, okay, Janet, I see myself in you, unfortunately, sometimes, is Janet goes a little too hard on someone. And then rather than being like, oh, I went too hard on them, she starts picking up these like other little bits and baubles and pieces to justify why she said the thing that she said, right? And it's like, oh no, I didn't talk about Danny being drunk because of the thing that happened in the pantry. It's also because of what he did to Jasmine. And it's also because of this thing that I heard happened at this other event. And like, if you're going to get mad at Kristen or Jasmine or anybody for bringing up stuff that like makes Jason's character brings, you know, a question mark into like what kind of person he is because of a rumor about his ring, then you also understand that the shit that you're saying on camera is equally bad. So you are no different than Kristen Doty. You are not functioning any differently. In fact, you're functioning even worse.
I know. And I think it was the first episode of this season when Janet was like, when we both have an enemy and attack them both, I was like, I would rather get hit by a car than have Kristen and Janet both come after me.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
I would.
I think they're too similar. And that's like, but they're similar in like different packages, you know?
Yeah, I think also their strain of evil is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like evil knows evil, and I think they're both aware of what they're capable of. So that's why they also come after each other so hard, is because they know, like, oh, I know what
Exactly.
you can do to me. And so Janet keeps trying to do things to like ice Kristen out, and Kristen keeps doing things. I don't think Kristen's actually doing anything that super malicious this season. That like little ring thing was whatever, they talked about it and it was done. Janet's still bringing it up. It's just Janet, you know, kind of ruminating and making things a lot worse, which is where I think her postpartum stuff is where I go, like, maybe it's because of that she is functioning the way that she's functioning. But also I think that her coming so hard against Danny and Nia, and all of them kind of being anti-Danny and Nia, is because Danny and Nia, I think, are, I don't know about Nia, but Danny for sure is like, he doesn't think RFK Jr. is so bad.
Yeah, I feel like there's something just beneath the surface with Danny. Like, it's very, like, almost coming out, but then he pulls, because Nia is so good.
She yells at him and tells him to knock it off every time.
And watching her and Janet when they're like, I know we're about to get to that scene where they're fighting, and Nia going, oh, and now you're yelling. I was like, oh, she's good. Like, she is so good.
She's so good. And I think, again, that is why Janet hates Nia, because she knows that Nia is so polished and she has it together in a way that, like, Janet kind of can't. Like, Janet is in front of the cameras for the first time now, and Nia, doing like pageants and everything, has been around. She's a very polished person. They always come after her, like, oh, you're a pageant girl and everything needs to be perfect. Lady, we've seen Nia yell at Danny so many times. I love it when she yells at him. It's the best thing in the world. But what I liked in this scene that I wish more people listened to was Melissa and Jasmine being like, hey, can we stop talking about us? Like, we're right here. I need you guys to stop.
Yeah, so Blair and I talked about that. And you know how you said you saw like a bit of Janet, or you can see yourself in Janet? That's when I saw myself, because I'll be the person who's like, but you did that, even if like the person's over it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not over what they did to my friend.
Yes. I'm loyal like a dog, unfortunately. My brother had a girlfriend for 4 years. And they broke up. And in my opinion, I think that the timeline of when she started her dating her now husband and when she ended the relationship with my brother is very, very, there's a low overlap in my mind. Okay. But she dated my brother for like 4 years. We loved her. She was like part of our family. It was like great, whatever. And mind you, they've been broken up for 9 years now. She is married to a whole other person. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Your brother?
Yeah. No, she's married. Yeah. This is my brother's ex-girlfriend. To this day, if I was to see that woman, I would be so, also just to add on to it. They broke up in the beginning of 2016, and then her now husband voted for Trump. And then she tried to like justify that and said the day after the election, November 2016, she said, it's not a big deal. She's not South Asian. She's white. She said, it's not a big deal. I mean, you know, like, she was like, I mean, she's like, I'm scared all the time of like terror attacks. Like, you know, because I was like, oh, it's like a scary time to be like a Muslim in America. And she was like, well, I'm scared of like terrorists attacking us. And I was like, bitch, do you think that I'm not? Like, what? That's a crazy thing to say. Like, you're part of basically a Muslim family for the last 4 years. Like, it's a crazy thing to say. Anyway, I digress. My point is, when my brother, because she's like very friendly with my brother. He's like, oh yeah, she texts me all the time, like whatever. I'm like, she did? That bitch.
Right.
Like, I get so mad. I get so incensed. My cousin, who's like my younger sister, she's married. She broke up with a guy, like, again, 7 years ago. And she always tells me, she's like, it brings me so much joy to know that like, if you were to ever run into him, you would fucking kill him. And I was like, yeah.
The worst is when your friend would like break up with someone, you'd be like, I always fucking hated him, blah, 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 blah. And then they got back together and you're like, oh.
And that is a lesson I learned in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I would learn that lesson every 3 months or so, because my friends were in like such toxic relationships, you know? And like one of my really good friends like married that person. And like even now when she like complains about him, I'm like, well, you know how I feel about your husband. You know, there's no surprise here. But yeah, like I think that whole thing of like Janet, the thing is Janet is using what happened to other people as a reason for why she doesn't like Danny and Nia. And I think that that's so unfair because like I'm sure you could come up with other reasons why you don't like Danny and Nia. Don't use other people, you know?
And it's also like you're allowed just to not like someone. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it's like I just don't like that person. I don't know. There's something there that I can't put my finger on, but I just don't like them.
Yeah, exactly. And again, guys, why are we fighting with each other when Jesse Lally is right there?
He was so quiet this episode. He's a snake. He's such a snake in the grass. And I hate that like a lot of people can't. I think it's because he's from Massachusetts. And I'm like, I know you. I'm like, I grew up with you, Jesse. Like,
he's terrible. He's awful. And I don't understand why we're tolerating that. Like, again, like it doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to come after somebody, get mad at everybody for still having Jesse show up when he called his ex-wife, your current friend, who's part of this group, an escort multiple times over. Like, why are we allowing that?
Yeah.
Speaking of not allowing things, we had to see Jax at home.
Doing a sponsored unboxing at that. When I saw that box, I was like, no. And then like Schwartz comes in and he's like, oh man, how'd I get myself into this mess? I'm like, what do they have on you, Schwartz? What secret is Jax Taylor keeping? Because like Tom Schwartz can say he's a good guy forever or like try and pretend, but he is still best friends with Jax Taylor. And that's like another issue with, I guess, Jason and Janet, is they're still like kind of making excuses for Jax, but like trying to kill Danny in front of everyone.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And I think they're doing that with Jax because they're like, well, Brittany still loves him. Okay. Well, Brittany's an idiot. So who cares? Who cares what Brittany thinks?
Right.
Yeah, it cracks me up. You just see, you know, I don't think that Schwartz has a soul, but every time he comes on camera, he's just like, oh fuck, I gotta come back here and film with this guy.
And one thing I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, or maybe I just haven't seen it on social media, is when Jax was kind of like, I wish we stayed together or got back together or worked through it or something. And Schwartz was like, you would have ended up in prison.
Oh my God, I heard that too.
And I was just like, so it was so much worse. And I will always believe Jax was more physical than what they say.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. And I think that when he said it and they kind of like glanced over it because like Jackson's thing was like he just started talking over him. No, like, you know, like I was in the facility, and you're like, shut up, God. Do you think that this show should be back next season without Jax and Brittany?
Okay. I think Brittany still has a spot on the show.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think like with Cruz and everything, I think that she's maybe making a lot of parents feel seen. And I think that's really good. And I think with Brittany, yes, I want her to stay, which maybe is unpopular, but get rid of Jax. Like there are episodes I haven't seen, like the flashbacks to Janet yelling at Kristen. That's like Blair was watching and I'm like popping in and out. Cause like, I can't see Jax. Like when I see Jax, I'm like, I feel sick.
No, I think that's fair. By the way, you're wearing this shirt, and for the longest time, I was trying to determine who it was, and then it just clicked for me. I was like, of course, it's Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello.
It is, and then at the bottom, it says Pap Walk. So we have it at our store Beyond the Blinds.
Okay, amazing. Do you have other celebrities?
We do. We have one that says Bad Girls Do It Well, and it's hand drawings of like Khloe Kardashian's mugshot, Paris Hilton's mugshot. Oh, nice. Yeah. I'll send you the link.
Okay, I have a couple of other suggestions of pop pictures that we could put in there.
Okay, perfect. I think Troy and I want to do one where like our designer Bonnie, she's great. She's going to put me and Troy as a pap walk, saying like very much in love.
Oh my God, I love it. Sparking rumors. Spark romance rumors.
Troy and I bearding for each other. My worst beards in the world. Like he's straight.
Okay, let's move on to brighter pastures. Okay, let's go to Next Gen NYC, which is, a hilarious thing for me to say, like, just to show how dark the valley is. Next Gen NYC has a very unhinged person, young Jax, as you called him. This guy, Charlie Zakor, he is on. So, how many drugs do you think he's on? How much drugs?
All of them. And I think like him needing that speaker was for drug money.
Yeah, I think so too.
Allegedly. Those are my thoughts, not facts.
No, I think so too, because he just the way, or the speakers belong to a person that like, it just him being like, I have friends over every night, and like, they want to listen to music, and then I just like play that from like my computer. You live in an apartment, like, how loud do you need the music? What's going on? It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. And I think like when I look at Charlie, first of all, I don't think he will get to become Jax because people kind of hold him accountable for his shitty stuff. Like other cast members are like, he's an asshole. They're not just like, oh, well, you know how he is. Kind of how the Vanderpump cast was. Yeah. But I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before when it was a lot about Charlie's family. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, he feels like a fucking loser. Yeah. That's his issue. He's so insecure because he's 30 and has like nothing to show for it other than his parents' wealth.
Exactly. And it's weird because I think he's so terrible, but there are these shots of Charlie that happen sometimes. Like this episode, there's a shot of him sitting like outside of the restaurant, like not wanting to go in, and sitting at like this like lawn chair. Just like the way he's sitting, he looks like a child in the way that he functions a little bit. Like he looks like a petulant like 9-year-old at times. And I think that's it. It's sad, but also he's such a fucking asshole. Like he's just so fucking terrible. But this episode of Next Gen NYC, we had Brooks's birthday. They all went down to the shore. We also had Kim Zolciak film an entire scene and a half. What is your relationship with Kim Zolciak, Bierman?
I think I like this show so much because I didn't watch Housewives, so I don't really have much background of like Blair fills me in as they're going. Like I know I like Candy, like her voice. I really just love her speaking voice. It's like I love it. But Kim, I remember we were watching the Kristen Cavallari episode that Kim was on. And they were really talking shit about Croy. And Blair was like, that's not all true. They're not even talking about her gambling. Like Blair got like really upset about it. So pretty much whenever I hear anything about Kim, it's pretty negative.
Okay, good. No, I mean, that's correct. Okay. Kim being like, you didn't about Candy, did you? Like she's got that like heavy smoker voice. She's from Connecticut, by the way. Like this.
That kind of explains everything.
Like, so she also a former nurse, very much Luann de Lesseps. Yeah.
Watching her eat like Cheese Whiz and crackers while drinking like a red Solo cup of wine.
That's like her brand.
I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah, that's her whole brand. Her whole brand is like trash food with a red Solo cup and being like, top me off, will ya? But it was so funny because, we heard very early on in this show that, Ariana's trying her best. I adore Ariana. She's trying her best. She's like, I know my mom is like very bad with money, but like if things are broken, like if she asks me, I have to give her something. Like that's my mom. But like, obviously Kim still on social media is peddling a lot of weird stuff. She is notorious for posting clickbait.
Okay.
She has multiple times posted ultrasound pictures of like babies and been like, we're so over the moon, link in my bio, and you like click on it. It has nothing to do with anything. Like but she does it because it makes her money. Like that's how they make their money,
That's so teen mom coded.
It's crazy. She does it all the time, and she'd be like devastated to hear the news. Like, what happened? Who lost a baby? That's so sad. And you're like, it's got nothing to do with anything. Vicky Gunvalson also does that from OC. Anyway, but Kim obviously like moves very shadily, and we've seen her do that over the years. But on social media, she's always like, there was a time period where she was like talking about her money. Like even this episode, she showed up like hair done, her like body snatched, all this stuff, full facial plastic surgery, all this stuff. But the funniest thing to me was like she arrives obviously in an Uber, but it's like not a nice Uber. Like it's just like a red like RAV4. That I don't know. It just like it was so Kim. Like it was like this lady who's like talks about being like, a former housewife and like was on TV all these years, just like showing up in like a RAV4.
I loved it when Ariana was like, "This is where you're sleeping," and it's like a big beanbag, or it's a love sack, which was Jax's paid unboxing on the Valley. And Kim was like, "Am I sleeping there?" She's like, "Well, it's either there. I don't know what to tell you." Like Ariana, I love her. She is incredible, and it's so interesting to watch the kids who have been on TV since they were young versus like Georgia, who is somehow typhoid married her way into my heart. Like watching Georgia go at Charlie, I was like, go, go, go.
She became more tolerable to me because she wasn't see-through this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kim also was so funny. They go out to dinner and Kim is like, you better not have invited Candy because she owes Candy money, like that's why. But it was so funny to me to hear them telling Kim about Charlie and how he's such a grifter and da-da-da. And so they tell Kim like, oh yeah, like he left us with the bill and we haven't seen him since. And he's like fled. And she's like, oh yeah, like he found his mark, da-da-da-da. She's like, that's what he'll do. And I was just like, I know for a fact that Kim is like, oh, that's good. Let me add that to my list of things.
I'll just use Apple Pay. I'll tell people I only use Apple Pay.
Like 100%. She's like, oh, that's smart. That's a good one, Charlie. Thanks.
And I want your opinion on this because I know Riley comes to dinner with Kim, and Riley was probably like, I'm so scared. But Riley seems like very kind to me.
Yeah.
She seems so sweet, but I unfortunately think she has a crush on Charlie. And we've all had crushes on Charlie types. I always say like we've all liked a Justin Bobby. So you can kind of lump him in with that. And I fear she has such a big crush on Charlie.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to look for it.
Yeah, you're going to, because there's one point maybe in the Uber and a few scenes later with Georgia where Charlie was like, hey, am I going to hug you? Or how am I going to come in? Is it going to be hot? And Riley was like, well, that was an apology.
Yeah.
And Georgia was like, no, it wasn't. And I'm like, uh-oh, she likes him.
Yeah. Or it's one of those things where Riley doesn't like a pylon.
Okay.
I think that it's possible that both Ariana and Riley went into the weekend being like, maybe if we just are nice to him, he won't act like a crazy person. But I also saw like when she was like, let's go play water balloons, like go change your clothes, like come meet. I was just like, oh, you're being nicer to him than he deserves.
Yeah.
And
so
even I can see what you're talking about. Yeah.
The way she acted of him bringing like other girls to their table. I understand it made things more expensive, but I think it was more like, why are you bringing other girls? You know I like you type of thing.
We've all been there, honey.
We have. It's a learning experience. Riley, I know you're listening, so I'm not holding it against you. You'll learn from it, I promise.
They go down to the shore. What's your relationship with the New Jersey Shore?
I mean, what do you mean the like family vacation?
No, I mean like the actual location.
I have no relationship. My Jersey Shore knowledge is Jersey Shore.
Wait, Kelly, have you ever been?
I've never been to the Jersey Shore.
So you only know about it from television.
Yeah, and that's what I want to keep in my head. I want to keep Karma, and I want to keep the arcade games in the Shore store.
No, that stuff still exists. Okay, that stuff still exists. It's a place. There's a place for that. Okay, that Seaside Heights is what it is. Like you will. But like where they went, Ocean City, first of all, it's so funny that they took them to Ocean City. Ocean City is a dry town.
Oh my God. My jaw just hit my desk.
So it's like a little island off of like where Atlantic City is, and it's a dry town. Like there are no bars in Ocean City. It's very kid friendly. It's really, really nice. But you have to like provide your own alcohol there, whatever, or bring your own alcohol. But it's very close to Atlantic City, so there's a lot of like casinos and stuff for people to go to or whatever. But the New Jersey Shore is lovely. I was just there on Saturday, and I just want to take a moment as a person from New Jersey in the chat here to just say that when Charlie said, first of all, it was so rude. The only thing I know about Jersey Shore is that TV show with those ugly girls.
You're 30 years old, Charlie. What do you mean you never watched the Jersey Shore? Shut the fuck up. Like, get out of here trying to pretend you don't. You are 30 pretending to be 22.
Yes, him acting like, oh, I never watched any of that. Like, I don't get it, whatever. But we've seen multiple times, like, he's very aware of how reality TV functions. Like, in the beginning of the season where he was, like, fighting with, like, Ariana, he was like, I know you guys have been, like, born and raised to do this stuff. Like, okay, so you know how this works. Like, you watch these shows. Don't act like you're above it.
And he also constantly breaks the fourth wall thinking that they'll cut it out, and they're just not. Like, the way he was yelling at Georgia, being like, if you were a man, I would slap you. The only reason you're on this show is because of me. So obviously he takes a lot of, like, I don't know if it's pride in this show, but he truly thinks this show is because of him.
Yeah, and he is sadly very mistaken. And look, I can make space for his shitty dad because his dad is an asshole. Dad's crazy.
Mom's out to lunch, as my mother would say.
That's so good. I saw this thing on the internet. It's called Wave. It's white American vernacular, right? And it's that we should start, instead of doing AAVE, we should be doing WAVE, which is Wave. And there are some, like, really, really good white phrases, and out to lunch is one of them.
Yeah. My mom would also be like, she's a few short of a six-pack. Oh, that's my mom's favorite.
That's so good.
That's my mom's favorite.
That's so good. Oh.
I have so many more. I can teach you later. Don't worry.
Oh my God, I can't. Teach me your culture. Yeah, she is out to lunch. So, like, obviously he's not got a great parenting situation. He also, like, doesn't really know what he wants to do in life. He probably was also, like, equally mistreated and also put up on a pedestal. Like, he was expected to do a lot, but it's possible that he was, like, also bullied as a kid because he was, like, a, you know, rich kid's son, but, like, maybe he didn't have a certain look or whatever. Like, I don't know what his deal is, but it's one of those very clear cases of, like, buddy, I know your whole life just from watching you like this because you're just such a sad, insecure person.
And it's interesting because Hudson, who's the son of, like, a billionaire, and I'm kind of like, you can't wear those jewels around New York. You know, that's not in New York. Maybe it's like an Atlanta thing, but it's definitely not a New York thing, where he's, like, so flashy about it. And he's, like, proud to show it. Like, when he put that wad of cash in his wallet, I was like, oh, I'm so scared for you, Hudson. Whereas, like, Charlie's, like, the anti-Hudson.
Yeah. But also Charlie has no money.
Right. Because he's blowing through that.
And you know that Charlie was involved in that crypto torture scandal.
So do you think they're setting Charlie up as, like, a big expose at the end of the show? Like, they're going to expose something really, like, dark about him? Because that's how I'm feeling.
Well, you know, the episode, like, last episode, that whole, like, seeing him skateboard in the streets of New York and just Georgia's voice over it being like, he doesn't have any friends, he doesn't really have any money, he's like, or like Dylan being like, you know, I just, like, want more for Charlie, like, I think that he needs a lot of focus. I'm like, what are you guys telling us? Because if you're not aware, a man fled out of, like, an apartment at, like, a townhouse basement in New York City, a foreign guy, and he ran out and found a cop, and he was, like, barefoot, and he had apparently been tortured for, like, 10 days or something in, like, the basement of some really rich guy's apartment or house. And when that guy was arrested, the guy who allegedly did the torturing, Charlie was on site, and so he was, like, walking behind him and, like, the pictures and stuff. And I'm like, apparently Charlie used to hang out there all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, did you owe him the speaker?
Hey, it's Paris. You know, I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao, a new kind of flavor sparkling water. The kind made with real fruit juice, a pinch of Sicilian salt, and the sparkle of the Italian sun. With no added sugar and just 10 or less calories per can, enjoy. With love, from Italy. Buy San Pellegrino Ciao now.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pate. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in 1 convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Imagine if the speaker was for like the kidnap parties that they were throwing.
Like he's going to play really annoying sounds from it. He's going to be rolling Meredith Marks's next mix.
And like Charlie is also someone who pretends to be tough. That's definitely what like him saying he'd slap Georgia. The way that Georgia was just like, you're not going to talk to me like that. I was like, I love Georgia. Like now from here on out, I'm like, unfortunately, she'll probably do something bad in a few episodes. But at the moment, I'll say like Georgia and Ariana are kind of like my faves.
Well, Georgia pissed me off this episode because they went into the grocery store and she acted like a YouTuber who like is opening up a bottle of water for the first time.
What? I guess that
food?
Like, I just see her as like a character in Girls. Like that is how I look at Georgia.
Totally.
So her being like,
she's very Marnie coded to me.
Very Marnie Shosh, maybe some Jessa. Because
she's like a Marnie Jessa hybrid.
With her weird like businessman boyfriend.
The weird businessman boyfriend cracks me up. He always shows up with a loose tie, like he's had a long day with a beer in his hand.
Incredible.
Omar, you're stressed. She's always dressed like a small Victorian child, a sickly Victorian child.
Yes, always.
And she's always talking about things that like everybody already knows as if they're brand new things. She's like, "Oh my god, they have mac and cheese here at this grocery store." It's
and Riley's like, "Yeah." Riley's like, "What the fuck? Go wash your hands."
First you go take a shower, you weirdo. That scene of her like packing her clothes and sniffing all of them and being like, "This has my BO on it." I'm like, I know she is using natural deodorant. She stinks. Wait, can I just take a quick segue? You know, I have the craziest reviews left over, like on my podcast. I just have to take a second because I recorded last week with Tom Hamlet, and Tom was talking about how last week Kristen, the big thing before Kristen got engaged was everybody trying to convince Kristen to take a shower.
Right.
And Kristen being like, "No, I'm in Hawaii. You don't take showers." Like, what the hell? So Tom, a white man, said white people need to shower more. Like we've now learned in 2025 that part of our culture is not teaching how to kids how to shower properly when they're younger, apparently, right? And so he talked about it. And someone left me a really crazy review being like, "Why did you say white people smell?" I was like, well, the Kristen Doty and then Georgia, it's not looking great for you guys.
Listen, I will tell my friends, I'm like, wear the deodorant with aluminum when we're hanging out, please.
Yes. And can I say something? You were just at the Beyonce concert. I went twice, 2 nights in a row. Everybody was wearing aluminum deodorant.
Yeah, I felt like I was in an oven, how hot it was at that show.
Yeah.
But yes, no one smelled. So very thankful to the Beyonce fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Georgia cracks me up this episode. She was like, so she's like amazed at the grocery store. And then she's like, this is just, she goes, this is just like such a waste of time. Like I could just like have these groceries delivered to me. You were just excited 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. And I want to take a second for Christian, I believe, is Gia's boyfriend.
That's right.
Because I think Georgia was telling them the story like, you know, he said he wanted to hit me or
yeah.
I forget exactly how she said it. And immediately Christian was like, I would have punched him in the face.
Yeah.
He's like, if I heard a guy talking to a woman like that, I'd hit him. And also like, and this is very stereotyping of me, so I apologize ahead of time, but he gives like Guido, right?
Yeah.
And he's in a house with Georgia, who like is straight presenting. I'm not sure. She hasn't said she's queer or anything.
Yeah.
He's in a house with Brooks, Amira, who's a trans person. And like, he's just so cool with everyone. And I don't know, it was kind of like refreshing to see that in a way where like, you don't think like a juice head, I'll call him. I'll bring it back to Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Being like cool with that. So I don't know. I liked that. Like, it wasn't a part of the show at all, but I just like seeing that.
Yeah, I think that you know, Gia can be a little bit annoying because she does like to get herself involved in situations that she's not involved in, but I know what she's trying to do, which is unfortunately what I would also try to do too. She'd be like, she's like, I'm a smart person, and I think she feels like she can like logically talk to Charlie because she's grown up with crazy people.
Right.
By the way, Gia, stop it. Stop trying to petition your dad.
Yeah.
Back to America, please. Okay, knock it off. Could you imagine Juicy Joe just like riding back into New Jersey on one of those drones?
He would beat Charlie up.
he would kill Charlie. You know what?
And be deported again.
Okay, if Charlie started some shit with Gia, that's how you would get Teresa and her brother talking again, because Joe Gorga would kill Charlie. And then he would get deported too.
I honestly, watching Gia make the seafood boil, I was like, oh, I can't even do that. She's such like a little adult.
She is. Yeah. I think like I've seen, unfortunately, don't judge me guys, I have seen a couple of videos of Teresa cooking with her daughters, as she calls them, and they're good. the girls know their way around the kitchen. Okay. Yeah. Those are good girls. But yeah, the whole situation at the shore, at the beach house, them kind of being like, is this where the water is? Is this the shore? Is it? Shut up. Okay?
I need Brooks off this show.
Oh, interesting. That's a hot take. Why do you think that?
Brooks, I understand he may have brought all these people together. He won't fight back. Oh. He doesn't really say anything. And when he does, he's just like, oh my God, I really hate when people fight. It stresses me out. It's like, give me anything else other than that.
I will say this. So yes, I think that he's not doing enough, but something about him just kind of zoning out and like Homer Simpson in the bushes all the time in the background does crack me up, because he's always like, because he also kind of instigates it a little bit too. Yeah. Like, you invited Charlie into our lives. You made us hate him because he said all that terrible stuff about Chloe. You're the one that told Gia what he was saying about Chloe. You're the one that like put him into our lives, and then you're not going to do anything about it. But then like he does, like, I did think the editing of him disassociating and thinking about all these other things was really funny. Mm-hmm. Him also bringing crochet needles because he thinks that these are the type of people that would do a craft with him is so Meredith Marks.
That's a good point. Maybe I just need to look at him as someone who was raised by Meredith
and Seth.
Oh my God, Seth. Ugh.
Seth wishes Charlie was his son.
He does. He's like, I'm trying to get to be pansexual. It's like,
so weird.
Go away.
Go away. It's so weird. Stop asking your kids' friends who they fuck. It's so weird.
And it's interesting to see like how scared Ava seems to be of like Ariana and Gia.
Oh, yeah.
I knew Ava wasn't showing up. Like when Ava wasn't there like an hour in, I'm like, Ava's not coming.
No. She was not. She was like, I have to do this fitting and all this stuff. I'm like, and not only does she not like Ariana and Gia, but she also, I think, likes Charlie a lot. And she doesn't want to be in a situation where she has to then defend Charlie, because Charlie is indefensible at times.
You know, all Riley or Ariana or Gia need to say to her, isn't your mom Becky with the good hair?
I know. Well,
That's
you
it.
know, that's what Ariana said. She was like, where's Ava with the bitch attitude?
Oh, star. And the thing that sucks is like Ava is so gorgeous.
Stunning.
She's so beautiful. Not a star.
No, not a star.
And that's too bad.
Getting by in life just being beautiful.
Can't be me. Couldn't be me.
My whole personality is because I was hideous for many years. Hello.
Yeah.
I showed the entire mosque my boobs almost at 11.
I had a rumor that I didn't wear a bra in 8th grade, okay?
Yeah, it's just so silly. But like this whole I think what did you think about Ariana and Ariana sort of now being like, Charlie, take a picture with us, like at that dinner?
I think at first I hated it, but with you saying like maybe they were trying to just make it like a little bit easier for everyone.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But I didn't realize Hudson was sitting like in between them until like the very end scene.
He's so small.
He is. And like he just seems so like, what am I doing here? You know, I feel like that's how Hudson always feels. I love the scene where he was like, I like wearing my diamonds. I like wearing my jewels. It's my thing to wear all my jewelry. Okay. And he's like putting his necklaces in a bag. He's like, I love my necklaces. I'm like, all right, Hudson. All right.
That's the house that Chicken Wings built.
Zaxby's is my favorite.
It's so
food.
good.
It's so, if you guys listening haven't had Zaxby's, go. Like, if there's one thing I miss from living in Nashville, it's Zaxby's.
Oh my God. Wait, DC has you can get Zaxby's in Maryland.
Oh,
I think so.
Someone's
I
been
know you
hiding
can
that
in
from
Philly.
me. Someone's been hiding it from me.
If Blair really loved you.
I'm always like talking about Zaxby's. Like, I can't even lie. Like, when we're on Uber Eats, I'm like, I wish Zaxby's was on here.
I know that there's Zaxby's in Philly because that's where I had it.
Okay.
So I feel like once it gets to Philly, it's probably in DC. There's none in New Jersey, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that Ariana just doing that was also because Ariana seems like the kind of person where if somebody is sitting awkwardly at the end of the table, she's just going to try to include them because it's more uncomfortable for her that they're sitting there awkwardly.
Yeah.
So she's just like, hey, like, let's take a picture. And Georgia, hilarious with her stage whisper.
She's like, I really don't like him.
Why did he do that?
But why did he do like?
I know, he's terrible.
Yeah, and again, if somebody said they were gonna, punch my friend in the face, like, I'd be a Janet.
Yeah. Also, I think what Georgia should have done, if I was Georgia, what I would have done is as soon as that happened, I would have gathered all of the people, been like, guys, we need to get together. I need to tell you exactly what he said and what he did. And I know that Brooks' birthday is coming up, but we cannot have Charlie there because he is a liability and he makes me uncomfortable and he threatened violence against me.
And I liked that when they pulled her and David, I think David's his name, tried to like get her to talk to Charlie.
Who's David?
Amir's boyfriend.
Oh!
Is that his name? Daniel David? It's a D name, I believe.
Who's Cade?
Oh, is that Cade? He looks like a Daniel or a David. I don't know. I'm so bad.
No, I don't know who any of those people are.
Yeah, so him.
I was like, who is this man in the middle?
That is so funny. His name's Cade.
I don't know. I may have made that up. Is Cade? Wait, or is Cade, what's his name's boyfriend? Brooks's boyfriend.
I honestly, the brunette man who's not a part of the cast but only is sometimes there, he pulled Charlie out and then they tried to get Georgia, and I like that Georgia was like, no, I'm not going to be your friend, I'm not going to forgive you, she was like, you called me poor. And another thing, I grew up without a lot of money, but I can imagine her situation where she had a lot and then found out her dad like blew it all. That's a different kind of anger.
And then to be like, you were growing up with all the rich kids and then all the rich kids found out that you're poor.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I did appreciate, I guess this was like a Georgia heavy episode for sure.
It was. And Georgia really pisses me off most of the time. But I was like, she's completely justified in how she's functioning. I do think it is if somebody borrowed if I borrowed speakers from somebody and then they texted me every hour on the hour for 6 days asking me for the speakers back, I would be so annoyed with them. I would just not give them back just to be petty.
I'd be like, download Venmo.
I know.
And again, like, I think Riley and Ariana and Hudson were maybe a little too forgiving for the $14,000 check that they were left with.
Oh my God.
And him being like, well, I just use Apple Pay. It's like, I will break your phone in half.
I also wonder, because that's a great point that you brought up about the whole table thing. I wonder if also Riley got some advice from her mom to be like, this guy has issues. Maybe just like let it go. Just like don't try to get involved. Like he's unhinged.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of like the moms being able to kind of like guide them in a way of how to navigate these like treacherous, evil,
terrible people.
Television.
What did you think about Amira not eating the seafood boil and ordering Red Robin instead?
I think it's fair because a lot of people don't like seafood.
I also don't like a seafood boil. I would never eat that.
Like, I would be in there eating all the little pieces of corn and potatoes, and I'd be very pleased. But I don't think that's rude.
Yeah. And then for Georgia to be like, the Ozempic is wearing off or whatever.
And I was on Ozempic. I got off of it because I kept getting really sick.
Okay.
And I was like, that's kind of funny. And Blair was like, but if I said that, you would have been mad. It's only funny if you say it. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, wow.
No, that's true. I've been on a GLP-1 since December 2021. I was doing it before the celebrities, okay? But like, yeah, I'm allowed to bring it up. And it's always funny when I do bring it up, people get very uncomfortable. It's like I'm saying I'm on meth. It's crazy. I'm like,
I'll be like on something much worse.
Yeah, they're always like, I'm like, oh yeah, like, because I've been on GLP-1s like forever. Like, I just like don't. I hate it. The thing I hate about it the most is that I don't get to enjoy food all the time the way that I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember talking to like a group of people about it, and they just like a hush came over the room, and I was like, what did I say?
Right. And I will say though, I think it was a little rude, like her reaction to the groceries and being like, well, I'm not going to eat any of that either.
Yeah.
Like that kind of follow-up I didn't really love. But again, I think if like someone's cooking seafood, especially seafood, because I know people are so picky about it, I don't think there's anything wrong with ordering. But like, I also, when I lived in New York, I ordered out almost every meal. Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's just like, she's been in New York so long. She's like, nah, I'll keep my Uber Eats score real high.
Yeah, it's possible. Also, Georgia said, ew, about mozzarella sticks. And I was like, Georgia, we're just getting on your side.
I just need everyone to know Georgia entertains me, but if someone's like, she's annoying, I'm like, for sure.
100%.
Like, her bringing up Harry and when Harry met Sally like 15 times the first episode, or when she brought her laptop to the club, like
obsessed with the laptop at the club. It's so funny.
I feel like all these people are like someone I want to be 1 degree separated from.
Yes, correct.
Other than Ariana. Unfortunately, even though I'm like 10 years older than her, yeah. I'm like, I would be Ariana's friend.
I would totally be Ariana's friend.
And Riley. I really like Riley.
Adore them. I would be friends with, unfortunately, I would be very good friends with Brooks. Ooh.
That's okay. I am sure I would party with Charlie at some point in my life. When I was drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be at the box with all of them.
Have you been to the box?
I have not. Unfortunately, the night that my friends went, I was very ill. But I know someone shot a ping pong ball out of their vagina. That's like the girl's trick. She's known to do that. So
I was not aware of what the box was until I watched this television show.
Well, sorry to all your listeners. I know I just said vagina without a trigger warning.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
If anybody's triggered by the word vagina listening to my podcast, then you don't belong here. Okay.
I hope people give this show a chance though.
Know.
Maybe the first 2 episodes they were slower and you had to like get used to it. But it's so like lower stakes than watching The Valley and watching families just deteriorate.
Yeah. Also, like the way it's cut is so funny. Like that one episode where we had like Ariana and Ava going at it, and then there was a birthday cake that got pulled in, so Ariana was like, and you can't happy birthday. Even this episode, they're like fighting about what he said. He's like, Charlie's a crazy person, whatever, and Chloe's like, what if we get a magician to come into the table right now to change the vibe?
Incredible.
It was so good.
And like the way the magician announced himself, like they should all know exactly who he is.
Joe Holiday. I don't know who he is. I loved it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move in the world like that.
Yeah.
We should announce ourselves at places as if people already know who we are.
Be like, hello, Kelly Williams. You're not familiar? Kelly with an I?
Yeah.
No?
Laguna Biatch.
When you hear Lululemon, you probably think of Align yoga pants, weightlessly soft, like you're wearing next to nothing. That's why you see them in class, at the grocery store, and in the park. But did you know about skirts with built-in liner shorts so you can still jump for the Frisbee? And tanks and bodysuits? With Align's iconic stretch, you won't want to take it off. And with endless style options, you don't have to. Shop in-store or online at Lululemon.com.
The Abercrombie Kids Summer Sale is in full swing, with up to 50% off select styles for the season. Summer plans, vacation, and camp days are all covered, with new dresses, shorts, tees, and swim. Abercrombie Kids has the summer staples they need and the looks that they want to wear. Shop in-store, online, or in the app. Offer applies to select styles as indicated. Discount applied at checkout online.
When kids don't play, they grow up without creativity. They'll try to blend in and wear chinos, or worse, polyester chinos. Good thing Gushers Fruit by the Foot and Fruit Roll-Ups are made to be played with. You better be playing.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Introducing the new Volvo XC90 with 7-seat versatility, Google built-in, and advanced safety features for all your precious cargo. The new Volvo XC90, designed for life. Visit volvocars.com/US to learn more.
But yeah, I hope people give this a chance because it is fun. Because like Summer House, I think used to be my fun Bravo show, and now Summer is not fun anymore on that show. No. And like I was a Lexi girl, so it's even like, oof. God. What a brutal reunion to watch as someone who hates Jesse Solomon. Let me tell you that. Sorry, I'm going
unwatchable.
Truly. Yeah. But yeah, I think that this could be like the new fun Bravo show. Mm-hmm. Even though obviously Charlie is a monster and at any moment could snap. But like we could just find a new Charlie.
There's so many in New York City.
Yeah.
Also, I want to see more of Dylan.
Okay.
He's very hot.
He is.
He had the face of a beautiful lesbian. Thanks to you. Every time I see a gorgeous man and somebody something, I have to tell you it's a beautiful lesbian.
It's true. I love a beautiful man.
I love it. They're so handsome.
Give me Chase Crawford. Like that is a beautiful man.
A gorgeous man. Shawn Mendes on your shirt right now. Even though he's faceless in the shirt, he is a gorgeous man.
He is.
One of the prettiest.
I'm like trying to think about this show though. I feel like Dylan's like the only. Unfortunately, I know a lot of my friends would see Charlie on the street and be like, "Oh, he's cute." Yeah.
Not me. I wouldn't be able to see past any of that. No. Oh God, he's gross. I mean, Brooks, I think, is a very handsome boy.
I try with Brooks, but he really like.
You're like, I can't believe you're Seth's kid. You're too close to Seth. Adult Tom Shorts.
And I need the show. I think I need this show to step away from Meredith and Seth.
Totally.
Like they've been so heavily involved. Like Candy was fine. She made like an appearance or two. Mm-hmm. Kim, I don't have any feelings about. So if I see her again or not, I don't care.
Yeah.
And like the FaceTimes with Teresa, they're fine. But in like the Damon Dash of it all is like really, interesting. And I'm like, I don't know if I need to see him like flip out about his daughter talking about like birth control or whatever that
No,
was.
that was so whack. I was like, please.
I was like, you're a hip hop producer.
Yeah.
Who's friends with or was friends with Jay-Z.
Yeah. And Diddy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I don't think that we need the parents anymore. I think the parents can show up on the side. I think with Brooks, the reason why Meredith always shows up is because Brooks's greatest project in life has been the evolution of Meredith Marks. I think that's his biggest project. Like, do you think Meredith cares about DJing? No. It's like Brooks was like, Mom, what would be so iconic is if you became a DJ.
Mom, what if you did New York Pride? He's just so boring.
So
I hate fighting. Meanwhile, he's like, Ariana, Ava can't believe you have a crush on mine.
Exactly. That's also Meredith, by the way. It's very Meredith to be like, I just want to disengage. And then being like, did you know that she said that your husband is gay? And you're like, what? Also on the Georgia front, I just want to say that whole clip of Georgia going to a bowling alley and being like, my whole thing is like going to a place that like nobody expects a party and then it's a party. I'm like, you've never been to a party at a bowling alley?
I know. That was like all of my elementary school.
No, also like in the 2010s and like 2000s, Lucky Strike was like a big part of New York City.
And let's be clear, bowling's fun. If you guys haven't bowled in a while, you should try it again.
It's so much fun. My kids are into bowling. I freaking love it. And sometimes I will go with our friends and like we just let the kids bowl and the parents just sit around and we eat and drink and it's great.
I'm too competitive though. Like I'm not the person who you want to go bowl with to have fun. Like it is a sport.
My husband is like that.
He's always and your husband would have a great time.
Yeah. He's always standing there with his arms crossed looking at the kids. He's like, Aiden, fix your form. Like, just leave them alone.
Not fix your form for bowling. That is hysterical. Like there's a place in New York called Ping Pod where you can like rent a ping pong table. No one would go with me because I like Forrest Gump like
Okay, flexing on your athleticism.
And I'm bad at it. I'm bad at ping pong. I just take it serious. My athleticism is ping pong and bowling.
Hey,
this is why I have the personality, right?
Well, I was telling you how I like haven't been feeling good, and just to add to like how I actually, it's not that I don't feel good, it's just that I exerted myself physically a little bit, and so my body's just been like taking it. And to connect that to bowling is that the last time I went bowling, I was like, why are my legs hurting? I was like, oh, because I had to like lunge a little bit.
Right. Like I went to Topgolf over like close to Christmas, and I was like, why is my back so sore?
Like, oh, it's because I don't exercise, so I.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else New York City Gen that I want to push?
New York City Gen.
Whatever.
I know.
Every
I love
time
it.
it's
no,
different.
I love it.
I'm like the New York City generation show, the young people show.
New York generation next.
It's just.
It should just be. We should just call it next.
We should. We should.
Yeah.
I don't know how many episodes are left.
I don't know, but we're
not
in
enough. Not enough.
No, not enough. And you know what? Don't give it a reunion. We don't need a reunion.
No, I don't. I don't need a reunion. I just need a season 2.
Yeah, just roll those cameras back up. It's almost summertime. If we're gonna center this around Brooks's birthday, it's at the end of this month. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Do we know if it's gotten a second season or anything?
I don't know, but I mean, Ariana made it into the clubhouse with Phaedra. So I feel like because it's getting the people are on Watch What Happens Live, I feel like we are going to get another season. I feel like we should.
I agree. Like I said, it's just like a low stakes show where like you watch Summer House and all of a sudden like there's a pregnancy, which I love for Lindsay, right?
Right, exactly.
There's like a pregnancy, there's a breakup, there's too much.
Yeah.
Summer should be fun.
Exactly. Well, Kelli, this is amazing. Are you done with your tour now?
We are doing fall dates, so we will actually be in New York in November.
Okay, can't wait. I will be there.
We're doing like the West Coast. I think we have San Diego, LA, Seattle, and that's in October. And then we have like Cincinnati, Chicago, St. Louis, and then I think it's DC, but Northern Virginia. It's in Arlington. And New York in Brooklyn.
Well, that's enough time now for the airports to get their shit together.
Listen, I'm taking a flight tomorrow because I'm going to see Backstreet Boys in Vegas. And I'm
God.
Oh, I can't even talk about it. Like Blair was like, how excited are you? And I'm like, I am so worried for you to see me how I'm going to be when we get there. Like, I know we're engaged and ready and like we're planning forever, but like I don't know if you're gonna want it after you see how I act around like other Backstreet Boy fans in front, like at the show. It's gonna be a lot.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm so jealous. Is it at the Sphere?
It is. So a little scared to go in there. And everyone, I don't drink anymore, as you know, but everyone's like, are you going to take an edible? I'm like, I need to go into that thing stone sober.
Yeah, no, I would die. I've seen videos of people being at like an EDM show where they like do all these psychedelic things. And it would be my 13th reason, as the kids say.
And like, I'm on the floor, so I'm hoping that it won't be as like intense. Because I feel like if you're in seats, you have to like look up.
You're going to need to take Dramamine.
Oh my. I'm going to need to sit on the floor of the Sphere to ground myself. I'm not afraid of germs at all, so it'll be fine.
It's fine. Kelli, this is awesome. Thank you for being here. I've been waiting for you to get settled so that we could talk about the show because you and I are the only ones. Good luck to us watching The Valley, I guess, for the rest of whenever.
It's so is it like hard for you to watch? Because it is hard for me to get through it in one sitting.
It's so hard also because like it very hard to get through in one sitting, but also because it was so good when it started this season and then it got so dark so fast. And it always cracks me up that the theme song is it's all as I'm all right. It gets me every time. And I'm like, you're not all right.
And can I say one more unpopular thing before I go? Because I feel like that's all I do whenever I'm on your podcast.
Yes.
I don't care if Sheena and Lala join. I really don't care if this becomes Vanderpump 2.0. Whatever. There are already so many characters. It's not going to fucking matter.
And by the way, let Sheena on the show. She's already stirring up all the shit.
Right.
Apparently, like this episode, they're like, who heard all these rumors? They're like, from Sheena.
She has everyone's location. She gets all the gossip from everyone and has no issue telling everyone the gossip.
Yeah. Let Sheena on the show. You know who would give it to Jessie Lally? It's Sheena.
Or Lala.
Lala
as much as
I
don't really love Lala, but like she will scream at Jessie.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. If Kristen needs somebody else to scream at people, then I think it can be Lala. That should be fine.
Yeah. Well, you want to get popped?
Yeah, exactly. I want her to go up to Jessie Lally and talk in her black accent.
Bring out her reincarnation of Tupac, as she once said.
Yes, of course. Never forget. That's what I want. I want Lala to just like fight with Jessie Lally and bring out that black scent. Use it for good use. Okay. Use it for good. Guys, thank you for listening. I will be back on Saturday to talk about Love Island.
Luckily, did not let myself get into Love Island.
No, Kelli, you can't. You can't. You're 6 weeks done. I haven't. Yeah. I like to read. I have children to take care of. I have things to. I have a job. I have a whole other job. I can't do any of it because Love Island is on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have family visiting and I keep telling them like, I got to go to bed. I don't. I go to my bedroom. I put on my AirPods that connect them to the TV and I watch Love Island in bed.
You're like, a new bombshell is entering the villa. I need to see it.
I need to see. I'm the bombshell and the villa is my bed. And I'm getting into it. And we're going to watch this.
Paradise is back.
It's finally here.
In a new location, Costa Rica. There will be adventure, drama, and romance.
All gas, no brakes. That's my vibe.
Ready to find some love. But it wouldn't be paradise without surprises along the way.
These kids need to learn.
That's right. Your favorite Golden alums are crashing the beach.
We bring in a party, baby.
Bachelor in Paradise. New Mondays at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.